What's up, people? What's going on? Yes, it has been a long time. But before I get started, you guys know the deal. Sound check. Let me know that the sound is okay, that you guys can hear me, and then we'll get started. Yes. It's been a long time since I've done one of these. Whoa. Let's see who we got here so far. I see a couple of people. Look at this. They got smileys on this now? Impressive. Look at that. A freaking smiley. Sound is working good. 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 I can be heard. All right, so it's been a while since we've done a live stream. Last time I tried, I couldn't do one for whatever reason. Google was glitchy and all this. And I tested it last month and it was working. I was actually nervous that it wasn't going to work tonight because I just upgraded to Windows 10 the other day. But everything seems to be working fine. Very, very, very good. Good. Awesome. Hello, Alan, Devin. Nice to see you guys. Thank you for being here. Thank you for joining. We're going to talk a little bit of the entertainment stuff that's happened in the last month. A lot of big things, lots of big things. So we'll get started on that in a few minutes. All right. Just give me 1 second here, people. Now give a speech. Yeah, I'm not gonna give a speech. Yeah, just chit chat, talk entertainment stuff. That's really what it's all about. So this month we had a lot of big stuff going on. Obviously, Batman vs Superman trailer, Suicide Squad trailer, leaked X-Men trailer, leaked Deadpool trailer. We got a Spider-Man now. That was like one of the first things that happened this month. So a lot of cool stuff. What's up, Jim? Nice to see you. So we had a lot of cool stuff happen this month. But obviously the DC stuff takes the cake. They had a very, very big Comic-Con and very, very big Comic-Con for DC. So that was a lot of fun to watch. It's funny. I know that the Superman versus Batman movie or Batman versus Superman movie is probably going to be the biggest thing. It's definitely going to be a blockbuster hit. It's going to make its money. But I'm actually more intrigued with the Suicide Squad movie. I got to be honest with you. So, give an entertaining speech. If you want an entertaining speech, you got to watch The President. I don't give entertaining speeches. Plus, usually a speech is for an occasion. You know what I mean? It's not for like just random shit. It's not like, well, thank you all for joining me here today. My first live stream in almost a year. I'm feeling much better now. I want to thank y'all for joining me here for this live stream. I don't know what the fuck else to say, but you motherfuckers asked for a speech, so I'm trying to give one. See, it doesn't work. There's no. What's up, Darnell? There's really no speech to give. You know what I'm saying? I got to keep it down a little bit because you guys notice in the background, this is my little new spot. You know what I mean? There's my green screen there, my lights here. Then there's more space over here. I turned off my AC, but if it gets hot, I'm turning that shit back on. I don't care how annoying it is. But right next door are my kids, and they're sleeping right now, so I got to keep it down. So yeah. But anyway, so it was a great month of entertainment in terms of obviously the comic stuff was a big deal. Stutter like Obama. Yeah, so the economy, point is we need to make sure that we take responsibility and accountability for the economy. How's that? Is that okay? Oh, was there? Okay, well, I'll save that for the recap. I'm actually doing a recap this week. Amy's going to be at Boston Comic Con this weekend, so she's going to be texting me some stuff this week. What's up, Braydan? Yeah, she's going to be at Boston Comic Con, so she's not going to be doing a wrap up this week. And then I believe either next week or the week after, she's going to start rolling out her own videos. So, and we're talking about show reviews this coming fall. So I'm thinking about getting back into Agents of Shield, and I'm going to hand off all the DC related shows to Amy. So she'll be doing reviews for Arrow, Flash, Legends of Tomorrow, and I'll be doing The Walking Dead, Agents of Shield, and there was one other show I was going to do. Can't remember what it was. But I don't know. We might both do the Flash because I told her I might have a hard time letting go of that one. So we might both do the Flash like in this kind of style. Like we'll record together and then I'll upload the video. So yeah, she's doing good. She's been a great addition. She's been very helpful. Yeah, she's been very helpful, and she's got her own camera now. She's really into this actually. It's actually pretty exciting to see how excited she is. So she actually went out and got her own camera, and she's already got a comic room in her house. That's how much of a nerd she is. She's like a huge comic nerd. So she's got a nice, I haven't seen it yet, but she's got this nice setup in her house she was telling me about that would be perfect for her to do videos in. And I said, well, great, then go by all means. So she'll be filming her own videos, and then she'll be sending them to me. I'll be editing, and then I'll be uploading. Can you guys give me 1 second? Give me one moment. Okay, sorry about that. My wife wanted to come and say goodnight. So, holy shit, I just split a 5-year-old male cat's pelvis into with my big dick. It had to be put down. Oh, here we go. No, I don't. I haven't heard anything about the Gamma film. There could be some last minute shit that happens between now and the end of the year, but we would have heard at least something. And so I don't know. I guess that was wishful thinking. It was either a complete lie or it was something that they were trying to work on and it just fell through. Could be a number of things. But no, if we ever do get to see a Gamma movie, it definitely won't be this year. What's going on with the podcast? Honestly, right now, with everything that I'm doing, something's got to go. So right now, temporarily, the podcast is on hold. Once Amy gets into a groove of doing her own videos, which will help kind of alleviate the amount of videos I have to do, then I can do the podcast. But until then, I'm just going to hold off on it. Probably a couple more weeks before I start doing that again. Because between work and then YouTube and all that, it's a lot. It's a lot. So this month was a good month. It's probably the most active month I've had in the longest time. Obviously, she's been a great help, but also just because I decided I just want to kind of stick to what I was doing before, and it's been a lot of fun. There's probably going to come another slow point, probably in the coming weeks, because I'm also kind of pushing forward. I don't know if I told a lot of you guys about this. Olivia and Amy together. Yeah, that'd be cool. They could definitely spit back and forth. But I kind of want to do my own little fan film, Godzilla related, but not something very different. And I've more or less written the story. So now I've got to put it into a script format. Amy's actually helping me with that because she has experience writing script. Amy actually works in a TV studio. Not a big TV studio, but the local channels here in Boston. And she has a lot of experience with that stuff. So once I start getting the ball rolling on that, you'll probably see a lot of slowdown on my end. She'll probably continue doing her thing. But yeah. But that's why she's here, to maintain the channel and to contribute to the channel during periods where I'm kind of like lagging behind or I'm slowing down. So thoughts on a possible Godzilla Pacific Rim crossover? The only problem with that is the Pacific Rim movie, the kaiju attacked, I believe, in 2013, and the Godzilla movie takes place real time. So when it happened in 2014, that's the year it was in the movie. So technically, to cross them over, you would rip up a lot of continuity. You would basically be putting Godzilla in a universe where the kaiju started a year before Godzilla even appeared. So that's a big problem right there. I'm not saying it's, I think it's something that they've spoken about. I think it's something that they've shared ideas about. I don't know if it'll happen or not. It's 50-50. At this point, after the whole Sony Spider-Man thing, I don't really think you could ever say anything's not going to happen. I think there's always a good chance that something could happen, that some kind of collaboration or cross-universe could happen in any given movie. So do you think King Ghidorah should completely overwhelm Godzilla, or do you think Godzilla should be able to defeat Ghidorah on his own? I think there should be some overwhelming. I think Ghidorah should overwhelm him because technically, when you look back at all the other Godzilla movies, because Ghidorah, as intimidating and as big as he is, he's always been kind of a chump. I mean, there was a couple of movies, yeah, where Rodan and Godzilla needed to team up to fight him, or Godzilla, Mothra, and Rodan teamed up. But quite honestly, outside of that, Godzilla's always kind of whooped his ass. So it would be nice to see Ghidorah portrayed as the powerful space monster that he should be. I don't ever think he got the portrayal. He always got the clout, like, because I mean, he just looks so intimidating, a big monster that flies with three heads, but when it came down to it, he was never really a ferocious monster. He always got, in my opinion, always got his ass handed to him by Godzilla. So, yeah, I think they should make it that way. Hulk versus Godzilla. I don't know. I've seen that conversation so many times. I really don't want to go there. What's up, Ethan? Yep, just saw your message. Alan, why she's not in the nation? I gotta be honest. I don't encourage every person I know to go to the nation. uh, she's. I don't know. I think we spoke once about me sending her an invite. I never did, and she's just. I mean, she works full time too, despite that. So, I'm pretty sure she's kind of like outside of the video stuff and the stuff that we've agreed on. I think she's kind of does her own thing. So. I stand by my statement. Mechagodzilla, the only monster that's ever come close to killing Godzilla. Actually, he's the only monster that did kill Godzilla. Godzilla was more or less dead by the time Rodan got there. I did see the. Yeah, okay. So here's an interesting thing. I actually was going to bring this up tonight, Devin. So thanks for bringing it up first. Yeah, I did see the Goku versus Superman death battle. And it's not that the result bothers me. To me, it doesn't matter who wins. I personally feel any one of those two fictional characters can beat the other at any given time. So if Goku had won, I would have been cool with it. Superman winning, I'm cool with it. I think I have more of a problem with the presentation. It was just so lackluster compared to the first fight. There was nothing. It was almost like they were just doing it for the sake of doing it. They weren't. It just didn't have a lot of drive. Like the first fight was so entertaining. It went back and forth. You didn't really know who was going to win at what point. It felt, despite whether you were a Superman fan or a Goku fan, I thought that the end of the match, you could say, all right, well, my fighter may have won or my fighter may have lost, but that was a good fight. This one, no, this was a bad, bad fight. And again, it's not because Superman shouldn't have won. To me, it doesn't matter who wins. I'm a big fan of both characters. And quite frankly, as much as people get upset or people just, oh, well, Superman this and excuse me, Goku that, it just the presentation bothered me. It was just, it wasn't very, very, they've done so much better. It just wasn't very good. It's an evil place. Are you talking about the Nation Gym? Yeah, that second match was horrible. It was so bad. It was. Speaking of match, I do have the Scarlet Witch, Black Widow versus Solid Snake death battle. So that'll be coming up in a couple of days. I just got to edit it and do some stuff. But I did not forget about the fantasy battles on this channel. So that'll be up soon. Definitely within the week. So just so you guys know. Superman vs. Batman's Batman movie. Rob, have you upgraded to Windows 10? If you have, I do like Windows 10. I have upgraded. I did it the first moment I could. So far, I love it. It's funny. I I was playing Heroes of the Storm last night, and there was a gentleman I was playing. I've played with him before, but last night was the first time me and him Skyped. It was me, him, two of his buddies, and Nathan. I don't know if you guys remember Nathan from the Nation, or if you're familiar with him on YouTube, the Meta. And me and Nathan, we've been playing a lot of Heroes of the Storm together. It's been a lot of fun. So he was basically talking about this and this with Windows 10 and all these problems, and I'm sitting here thinking to myself, I don't have any problems. Everything went over smoothly. I haven't had any crashes. Everything installed fine. All my whatever little drivers I needed updated. Everything is working copacetically. The navigation is a little bit different because now you have the little window icon on the lower left. You know, it's funny. I was actually going to do a review of this, so I guess I might as well do it now. But you got the same window icon on the lower left like you did with Windows 8. The only difference is now when you open it, it gives you like a whole. It almost looks like the Windows Phone. You get all the little window icons with different programs or whatever, your pictures and all that. So the navigating is a little bit different, but it's really nice. It's nice and sleek. And that's pretty much it. It's just a very, very different look. But and it's got a lot of good new, like if you have an Xbox One and you like to record your games, they have a recorder. It actually works with regular games too, because every time I put on a PC game, it gives me an option to hit the control. I think it's Windows Control and Alt. Windows Control Alt and Shift button, and I can start recording my game. And that's a program for Windows itself. So if you're a person that either uses Fraps or if you're a person that is paid for video game recording, this is a good perk. But I think that's about it. I think it'll record the Xbox games and the PC games. I don't think it'll record PlayStation 4. But for me, that's no big deal because I have the Elgato to record my PlayStation 4 if I ever want to record games. So, was I at G-Fest? No. I've 2 years in a row I've wanted to go to G-Fest. 2 years in a row I had to cancel. So I did not go. One day I will. I'm not going to say I'm going to go anymore because every time I plan on it, like the last year I had my hotel booked and everything. Thankfully I didn't pay for it because I had to cancel close to the last minute. Did I see Gamera versus Godzilla Death Battle? Yes, I did. I thought it was a very good fight. That was a lot of fun to watch. That one was pretty. I did a review on that actually. So if you really want to know, it's somewhere in the channel. But I wasn't disappointed with it, obviously. And again, that's another fight. I think either monster could win, whether it's Gamera or Godzilla. They're both really, really cool kaiju. So, have you seen Jonah from Tonga? It is funny. No, I haven't. I have not seen that. Actually, you know what I've been watching like a mad dog lately? My wife has this knack for getting me into these shows that I would normally never watch. And we've been watching a show called Royal Pains. And it's basically about a concierge doctor. And he's got a small little company that him and his brother run. And he has a physician assistant and all this. It is the coolest show because this guy is like the MacGyver of doctors. Since he doesn't have any resources like a hospital would because he's always on call. And he's basically a doctor for the rich. So he visits his patients. They don't go to him. So every time there's an emergency or something really critical, he makes all these little like makeshift hospital instruments to basically operate on his patients. Because usually, and that's the theme of it, usually the ambulance won't get there in time. We need to do this now. And he makes, like just now, the episode we watched, it was a Christmas episode. This guy fell from a rafter. He was putting up like decorations and his lung collapsed and all this stuff. So he needed to get air into his lungs. So he had the tools to make the incision and all that, but he needed a tube. He didn't have the tube. So he took a candy cane ornament. He wiped it with alcohol. He inserted the thing in. And he's getting air through that. And then he had to make he had to make an external. I think it was called a defibrillator or something like that. So he took the Christmas lights and he cut them up. He took the wire out. And he taped it to the guy's chest. And you know how some lights, they have that dimmer. You can either dim the lights, make them brighter. So he taped the wires to his chest. He plugged in the lights, and then he used the dimmer to stabilize his pulse. I mean, crazy shit. Whether or not it's whether or not you can really do that shit, probably not. But it's entertaining nonetheless. And I've been attached to this show on Netflix, and it's got like 6 seasons. We're up to season 4. So yeah, well, yeah, Harvard, I do, and it's tough. Look, it was very hard for me to give that review because I am a fan, but there's no hiding around it. If you give that game, in my opinion now, because I know there's other people who've given reviews on it, I haven't watched them, so I don't know how they really feel about the game. But in my opinion, if you give that game a good score, there has to be some bias behind that because the presentation is just too bad. It's too bad to ignore, and it's not that the game is not fun. I have fun playing it in spurts, like maybe after this live stream, I might pop it on and play for like 45 minutes. You know what I mean? But that's it. I can't do more than that because it's just like after a while, I'm like, okay, that's it. I mean, there was one time I was playing the game, and because I was recording footage, I was trying to get a lot of footage, and like an hour into the game, and I started dozing off because I was like, okay, I can't do this all the time like this. So yeah, and I do think some fans are reacting. That always happens. Fans do that all the time. If something they like is not liked by other people or other reviewers, they get very defensive about the game, and that just shows that they like the game, and that's fine. The important thing is that they enjoy it. It shouldn't matter what I or anyone else says about the game. If they enjoy it, they think it's worth playing and it's worth spending their time playing, then fine. By all means, knock yourself out. Everybody's entitled to their opinion. We say that all the time, even though we always shit on each other's opinions. Have you played Mortal Kombat X, and do you like the Mortal Kombat franchise? I love the Mortal Kombat franchise. I've wanted to play Mortal Kombat X, but I kind of stopped myself from buying it. See, when I grew up playing fighting games, I was back in New York. I had all my friends. It was much more fun at that time for me to buy fighting games because me and like 6 other people would stay up to all hours of the night playing, going back and forth and switching controllers. I don't really have that luxury now. So I learned from the last Mortal Kombat game when I bought it, and I played it for like 2 weeks, and then it got bored quick because I really didn't have anyone to play with. And you can play other people online, but it's just not the same. I used to like the interaction. My buddy sitting next to me, we're fighting, and he's talking trash, I'm talking trash, and blah, blah, blah. So as much as I want to play the game, and I do, especially because Predator's in it, I probably won't pick the game up till like next year sometime when it's like $20 or some shit. Then I'll pick it up because it'll be cheaper. It'll be worth it for me to buy it at that time because I can just play it whenever I have the urge. So do you think I should get the Godzilla game? I don't know, dude. That's on you. I can't even recommend whether you should get it or not. I don't want to sit here and say don't buy the game. It's up to the individual whether it's worth it for them to buy it. But yeah, that's on you. Yeah, but to see the new Dragon Quest may not come out here in America. That's the problem. That's what I read about that game. It may not come out. I mean, you can still get it for the PS4, but I mean, it's all in Japanese. And considering that an RPG is dialogue heavy, is it really worth it to get a Japanese import for a game you can't even understand? So I'm hoping it comes out in America, but they've had so many Dragon Quest games not come out here that it's kind of annoying. Yeah, that's not a good sign. I heard about that. I was going back up to your comment, Alan, about the Fantastic Four. Yeah, that's not a good sign. Usually, if they're hiding it, it's funny. I did my review for, and they're going to be late. There was all supposed to be in July, but it's going to be late. But I did my review for one of the Dragon videos that I had for the month of July, and I did D Wars. And when I was reading up on the movie, because I watched the movie, but you guys know me, I forget names. So I went back to see the cast names and all that, the name of the characters. And I remember reading in the section that they didn't release that review until the movie came out either. So, and that movie wasn't that great. So, well, I'm calling you by your name, fool. Terminator Genesis. I almost went to see it, and I was like, no. No, I want that franchise to end already. That franchise should have ended at 2, period. And I think I'll check it out when it comes out on DVD or on cable. I didn't go see it. I almost did, and I was like, no, don't do it to yourself. You'll just get more and more disappointed. Don't do it, you know? So no, I did not see it. So I'll check it out when it comes out on Blu-ray. I did see Jurassic World. I did a review on it. I think it's not, well, it's still up, but I pulled down the video playlist. But yeah, I thought it was good. I thought it was a lot of fun. There were some inconsistencies. It was a bit of a roller coaster ride for me in a bad way. There were some things that occurred that just did not make a whole lot of sense. The kids I found to be annoying, unlike the first movie. I thought the kids were very charming, and annoyingly charming. Like I think I mentioned this in my review, but in the first movie, when Alan Grant and everybody's first getting into the cars to take a tour, the little boy's following him and stuff like that, asking questions. That is innocently and charmingly annoying. This movie, these kids are just annoying, period. Like the whole thing about the mother, and then the older brother was a dick. It just, they didn't have that same kind of connection, in my opinion, that the other two kids had. So that's just one thing. But a bunch of other things I mentioned in my video, I don't remember. Yeah, Devin, I like Dragon Ball Z quite a bit. Which second and third movie review? I did Jurassic Lost World. I reviewed that. I just didn't review a third one because I watched it and I was like, I'm not reviewing this shit. What's up, Tim? I think I'm gonna have to turn on the AC, guys. So if you hear a hum, I'm gonna have to apologize in advance. That's one thing I hate about this room. It gets hot and cold really fast because it's not a very big room. Yeah, I did see the photos for X-Men Apocalypse, and you know what? I'm gonna learn from my mistake last year. I really all right, Zen, I'll check that out. Sarah Connor. Yeah, I've heard a lot of good things about that. I never did watch it. But Darno, going back to the X-Men, so I'm gonna learn my lesson from last year. Last year I shitted on Quicksilver, or 2 years ago. No, it will be 2 years ago, but I shitted on the whole Quicksilver thing and how he looked and all this. It just destroyed it. And he turned out to be a fun part of the movie, albeit short. I still think he looked like crap, but it goes to prove that even if the character doesn't look that appealing to your personal taste or your eyes, doesn't mean it's not going to be any less entertaining. Apocalypse to me doesn't look as bad as people are portraying him. I do not think he's purple. I think the lighting in that particular picture makes him look that way. I think Storm looks great. Psylocke looks like she's right out the comic. And I hear a lot of people are chewing that up, Olivia Munn, for playing Psylocke. I don't know why. She looks exactly like her. So whether or not she can pull off the part, we'll have to see. But I'm not worried about Apocalypse. The guy playing him is a great actor. And I think once he pulls off his performance, then people will. You know, it's funny. You guys got to remember too. When Ian McKellen first played Magneto, people destroyed him. They thought he looked like shit. He was too old. He was too frail. And after, obviously, because he's a very good actor, he won a lot of people over. And he's a great Magneto. And Michael Fassbender is a great Magneto. So I've learned that you shouldn't judge a book by its cover in that sense. You know, I want to see him perform first. If he performs, I'm not going to be worried about his look, because if there's one thing about these X-Men movies, they've never looked anything like the comics, really. Their appearance has been criticized through and through. And for the most part, that is one of the most successful movie franchises out there, is the X-Men series. I mean, it's had its hiccups, but I thought Days of Future Past was excellent. I thought X-Men First Class was excellent. And obviously, X-Men 2 was, one of the best ones in the series. And then obviously the first X-Men was a good introductory movie to the series. So it's been a fairly successful franchise. So I'm gonna go with that, and I'm gonna try and reserve judgment until I see the movie. Oh yeah, that's the one with Jamie Kennedy and Michael Gross? I saw a poster for that. They should just reboot the first one. The first one's the best one with Kevin Bacon. Oh my god, I love that movie. And I've never seen the sequels after that. It's just the first one. That's it. That's the one I like. Animated Death Note, FMA Brotherhood, DBZ Samurai. You know, I wanted to see. I started watching Attack on Titan. There was one. God, what's it called? It was about. It's about a bunch of online gamers. Is it Sword Art Online? I think it's Sword Art Online. I'm not sure though, but I wanted to check that one out. I heard a lot of good things about that one. Never seen Hunter x Hunter. Never heard of it. There's only a small list of animes that I want to watch, and Attack on Titan I got to finish. It was on Netflix. I don't think it is anymore. I haven't seen it, and I never seen the Tremors TV show. No, I have not. Didn't even know there was a Tremors TV show. That's how much I care about anything after the first Tremors. Did you check out the Rogue cut for Days of Future Past? I did not. I already own the movie, so I'm like, I'm not gonna go buy it again. I'm sure I can find it online. I just haven't taken the time to look. I liked what I've seen so far. I didn't watch the whole first season of Attack on Titan. I saw like the first 4 or 5 episodes, maybe even less than that. It was during the time that I was trying to finish Daredevil. Genesis is the best Terminator since T2, but it's not better than T2, and that's the problem. Cowboy Bebop. I've heard of Cowboy Bebop. Checked out any Studio Ghibli stuff? Don't even know what that is. Hunter x Hunter is awesome, very sad, good and deep. Okay. Any of you guys get the Godzilla comic? Man, that shit is awesome. You guys got to pick it up. I mean, it's not very, obviously, there's no dialogue, but the pictures tell a good story. Just in Japan, not worldwide. We don't need it worldwide. They'd probably burn a lot of money trying to distribute that worldwide, especially considering that it's not going to pull in a lot of, outside of the core fans, it ain't going to pull in a lot. All right. So a really classic movie you should watch and review is The Deep Hunter, starring De Niro and Walken. Two very good actors. Sounds like good stuff. The Deer Hunter. Okay. Was that remade? Deer Hunter wasn't that remade with Ben Affleck? If I'm not mistaken. Because the name of the movie sounds familiar, but I keep picturing Ben Affleck. Studio Ghibli did Spirited Away. Okay. I can see that happening. Harvin, kind of like Apollo was the main villain, so to speak, for Rocky One and Rocky Two. Like he beats Godzilla's ass in part 2. Godzilla barely gets away with his life, and then in part 3, Godzilla comes back strong and finishes off Ghidorah. Yeah. Oh, it's still on Netflix, Jim? Thanks, bro. Yeah, I gotta finish watching that. I'm so addicted to this damn show though, with the doctor, the MacGyver doctor. That's what I call him. Yeah, actually, I checked. I checked local listings yesterday, so they're showing it in my theater. Believe it or not, they're showing it in my theater starting Tuesday. Then I think it's Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Saturday. What's up, clone? So yeah, if you want to pick up tickets for next Saturday, I think I'm going to check that out next Saturday. And yes, I'll review it. You know, I'm very, very jealous of my new co-host. She's actually going to be working with the celebrities in the Boston Comic Con this weekend, and she's going to get to meet Manu Bennett. Manu Bennett, Robin Lord Taylor. She's going to get to meet him. She told me she's going to get his autograph because they're allowed to get at least one autograph from the celebrities. So she's choosing Robin Lord Taylor from Gotham. So I told her when she gets her autograph and she does a video, make sure she shows. What are you looking for in the upcoming Fantastic Four film? I'm looking for it to be good, plain and simple. You know, we know it's going to be Doom. We pretty much know what we're going to get in terms of the characters. We know they're going to tweak the story a little bit, but I just want it to be good. I think the problem with Final Fantasy, Fantastic Four is that their kind of time has passed. Like Fantastic Four are for my uncle and my father. They were the team during the time my father and my uncle were growing up. They were the squad. And as we grew up in my generation, it was X-Men. It was all X-Men. Now it's the Avengers. You know what I mean? So I think Fantastic Four has a lot of things working against them because I like Scream. Yeah, Jim, I do. Yeah, Miguel, I want to see Sword Art Online because Buddy was telling me about that. I have that written down. Rob, did you speculate on Bandana Milkshake cameo? No, I don't. Yeah, I think you know what it is, Mitch. With that, I'm jumping off topic here, but the problem is that the first comic for the Godzilla in Hell is there's no word, there's no story, there's no words. You gotta get the story that you get out of it from the pictures, and that's why I think it's a lot better than people think it is, because you can interpret a lot of different parts of that comic however way you want. You know what I mean? But it's not that difficult to figure out what they're trying to tell you and what these things represent in terms of Godzilla being in hell. But getting back to Fantastic Four, so the point I'm trying to make is that it has a lot of things working against it. It's got 2 movies before that sucked. It's got the fact that it's kind of past its time. You know, like they're not front and center anymore. They haven't been front and center in years. And a lot of the current fans of Marvel are Avenger fans, Iron Man fans, you know, X-Men, stuff like that. Fantastic Four is like a distant memory now. So the movie has to work against all those intangibles in order to have any chance to be successful. And as much as they're a great group and a great comic, I don't know if I see them overcoming that. Nonetheless, I'm still going to see the movie. Battle of the Gods is pretty good. It was all right. There was some parts of it I didn't wasn't too crazy about, like Vegeta's little musical number. I didn't like that at all. They just shit on Vegeta so much it pisses me off. What do you think about we finally not getting a Spider-Man origin story? Uh, I think we'll get a different origin story. I still think there are going to be some origin elements in it. He's still in high school, so I think I did that already, Miguel. I'm almost certain I did a video on Legendary Cinematic Universe. Uh, I I would look for it in the March of the King, either the March of the King or March of the King 2, but it's in there. I'm pretty sure I did it. I'm not putting a shoe in my head. Yeah, let me be real quick. Let me block out the trolls. All right, that's one. And Tim, I like you, but I'm going to block you too. I don't. I just don't want to get questions about p heads while I'm trying to answer other people's questions. All right. Sorry, Tim. Maybe next time. What do you think about Game of Thrones moving ahead of the books outside of not being as easily spoiled by book readers? I like it. I think it's going to be a little bit better for the book. See, man, Game of Thrones book readers can be a little bit pompous. Not all of them. I've met some that are really, really nice, and they get excited about people who watch the show. But the majority of the ones that I've encountered are very pompous. They think that because they read the book, their shit doesn't stink. So it's going to be nice to be on an even playing field from that aspect. But I don't know if you know this, but George R.R. Martin already told the writers how the story ends. So they have a pretty good idea of what direction they're going to go in, or they know the ending. I think now is just a matter of to what means they take to get there. So I think the only difference you're going to see here is that they may not follow obviously George's path because his path hasn't been set yet. So we'll see. But also remember that they're actually not done with the last book. They told the last book from different character perspectives. They still got to talk about Brandon Stark, and obviously Hodor's with him and all that stuff. So I don't think they're going to jump too far ahead. I think that's going to be a big concentration next year. Whether or not this rumor about Jon Snow being dead or alive, we'll see what happens. To me, I've seen so much death on the show. I'm accepting the fact that he's dead and not coming back. But if he comes back, it'll be a great surprise. But I'm not going to hold my breath on that. You should try a TV show. It really isn't that bad. The teen drama works well in the story. What are you referring to, Jim? Fantastic Four could be an amazing property on the Marvel Studios. Fox want to make it dark and gritty, but that's not Fantastic Four at all. Yeah, no, this dark and gritty thing is still very popular. Is Spider-Man ever going to be an Avenger? I don't think so. Hey, there's my Heroes of the Storm partner. What's up, Nate? Why do people hate Michael Bay? Have you watched the first 4 Transformers movies? That's your answer. Finally, my iPod wouldn't let me comment anymore, but now my computer is okay. No problem, Miguel. Yeah, actually, you know what's funny? E.T.N, I actually recorded 2 of them. And this is one of the reasons why I kind of like this little perk with the Windows 10. The second one I was going to do was XCOM, because even though it's $29.99 on Steam, you can still buy the hard copy for under $10. And I did a Let's Play on that. And when I went to edit the video, it came out choppy and laggy and the audio fell behind. So then I redid it and I never got to upload it because I fell behind because I had other videos I was doing. But yeah, I'm definitely going to continue doing those. I just missed the last 2 weeks because the recorder that I was using, it was very touch and go. 1 minute it recorded just fine. The next minute it was choppy and laggy. When I do like the Godzilla videos, that's coming from my PS4. That's my Elgato. The Elgato's great. But when I do my PC games, I switch between action or I use the video recorder, which is not too bad. I haven't had any problems with that, but I don't like the quality so much. And I use the one I use when I play on Twitch, which is XSplit. And that's the one that one gives me problems, and so does Action. Those two give me issues. The video's been good, but the quality of the video is not that great. So I'm hoping that the Windows 10 recorder is the one for me, so that way when I do record game footage, it doesn't come out all choppy and screwed up. Nate, I didn't get a chance to watch yet. I will. And yes, because I'm only making this live stream an hour, so we only have about 15 minutes left. And yes, I am going to play some Heroes of the Storm right after this. Absolutely. Friday night? What are you kidding? Yeah, Dirge, I do like action, but it's just a little inconsistent. This sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But actually, I like action a lot. I really do. In Batman versus Superman, how do you think Aquaman is going to fit in? Honestly, I think he won't play a part but until the end of the movie. You know, Eddie, honestly, I got to tell you something. This is the thing that bothers me a little bit about the Batman versus Superman movie. Superman, the dark and gritty shit works perfectly. And I read an article recently on Zack Snyder saying how Christopher Nolan set the tone for what they want to do for these movies. And to me, think dark and gritty and then think Aquaman. It doesn't even sound right in the same sentence. And it doesn't mean that Aquaman won't look, he's obviously going to look a lot cooler than he does in the comics. And that orange and green shit ain't going to work on screen. But in this movie, I don't think we'll see a whole lot of them. I think, like you said, maybe in the end. But I'm very interested to see how they're going to do this dark and gritty shit because there's certain characters in DC that are not dark and gritty. Aquaman's not dark and gritty. Flash is not dark and gritty. Green Lantern's not dark and gritty. Superman's not dark and gritty. So how they're gonna put the Batman tone in this whole universe, and I don't know if it's gonna work. But I'm not a DC expert, so maybe I'll do a discussion video with Amy on that and see what she thinks. Do you think we could potentially see Godzilla versus Rodan versus Mothra in a 2018 film? I've been saying for the longest, and I'm going to stick to this. I really think the second movie is going to be Mothra. I think Mothra is the primary villain. I think Ghidorah is the primary villain in the third movie who will show that they. Here's what I think is how it's going to go down. Mothra will be the villain in the second movie or portrayed as a villain or whatever, however way you want to put it. And she will prove to be a big problem for Godzilla. In the third movie, Rodan will start off as Godzilla's adversary. They will fight until Ghidorah shows up, kicks both their asses, and then they are forced to kind of team together to beat Ghidorah. That's how I see it happening. From an animal perspective, it's not like they're going to stop and say, hey, Rodan, let's take care of this shit. No, I think they'll be stubborn to the point where they're just kind of forced to help. Kind of like something where Ghidorah shows up because Rodan can fly, Rodan flies away, Godzilla's getting his ass kicked, and then out of nowhere, here comes Rodan coming in and not necessarily saving Godzilla, but catching Ghidorah off guard. How's that? That's kind of like how I see it playing out. Timothy Stanton apologizes. I'm not mad at him. I kind of just want to filter out the bullshit and get to the real questions. That's all. I don't think I can unblock him though. Tell him I said that. Yeah, I'm gonna have to wait till the next one. Just behave yourself next time, dude. I won't do it. I have to keep these short because it's not like back in the day. I can't do 3-4 hour streams anymore. They got to be an hour. So not that I couldn't do it tonight, but yes, I do want to go play Heroes of the Storm. I'm very, very addicted to that game. It's a lot of fun. And I got to get up early tomorrow. I changed my cable service this week, and they screwed up so much because I signed up for Sling TV, which is awesome, and I cut like $70 off my cable bill. Oh my god! And my internet speed is sick. So when I had Verizon before, I was getting like 90 MBs a second for download. Now I'm getting 152. Holy shit! Crazy. Okay, let me catch up with questions here. Who do I think Rocksteady will pursue next to make a game? I don't know if this is accurate. Superman. I heard something about a Superman game now in the likeness or in the way that they did the Batman games, but obviously he can do a lot more. Maybe that's the route they go. If Gareth Edwards directed Transformers, do you think it would be good? That's an interesting question. It definitely, I don't think it'll be as action packed as what we've gotten, but it'll make more sense. That's the best way I can answer that. Do you think Ghidorah will be animalistic or quite complex in terms of intelligence? I think he'll be a little bit of both. I think he'll be intelligent and animalistic. I don't think you want to give him too much of one thing over the other. You can't make him too intelligent because then it's like, all right, well, what's he need all that brute force for? But you can't make him too overly broody because you got to give Godzilla a realistic chance to win. So I think you'll see a nice little even flow. Are you excited for Star Wars Rogue One? I'm actually excited for Star Wars The Force Awakens. Rogue One's not till next year. I got plenty of time to get excited for that. Rob, we got to do a versus video for Godzilla. What do you mean, like versus? Oh, like me and you fight? Okay. Well, let me get my G14 to like 500 meters, and then we'll fight. Do you like Apocalypse Now? Oh, God, it's been a long time. Martin Sheen. It's been a long time since I've seen that movie, but I mean, who doesn't like that movie? Godzilla trilogy is meant to be a realistic thing, but would you rather have the Toho design of the three monsters or just have a realistic look? I want the Toho design updated, kind of like Godzilla. Godzilla had a lot of features about him that were similar to his original look in the rubber suits, but it was highly upgraded. Something very similar. I thought the G214 was a great look, and I'm just salivating at what Ghidorah is going to look like. I really am. Do you think Toho and Legendary are setting up for a Godzilla versus Godzilla movie? No, not at all. Not at all. Not even close. It would be the worst thing if they did that. Like, imagine they build this nice universe where these monsters coexist with humans, and there's this thing, and everything's serious, and these fights. Then next you know, there's Godzilla versus Godzilla. I don't know. It just wouldn't work for me. Do you think Godzilla 2018 should be directed by the person who did Pacific Rim, which is Guillermo del Toro? I think he could do a good job doing Godzilla. Because with Pacific Rim, they kind of made their own universe. I think if Del Toro had a Godzilla franchise to do, I think he would do wonders. I would love to see Del Toro do a Godzilla movie. What are your thoughts on Deadpool? Deadpool, I'm not a big Deadpool fan. Deadpool became popular after I started reading comics, Jim. So it's like, I'm not shitting on the movie. I think I'm going to go see it just to, I like Ryan Reynolds. Even though he makes a lot of shitty movies, I like Ryan Reynolds. I like his humor. So if nothing else, I'm going for that. But I think Deadpool is going to be – it's going to be interesting to see how it does in the box office because you have so many people excited to see it, but it's rated R. So – but that's another reason why I'm excited to see it. A rated R superhero movies is awesome. If you redo Burning Godzilla's Origins, how would you do it? Ugh. That requires a lot of thought. I don't know if I would even make him burn. Like, as cool as that is, I always thought to myself, wow, this guy's really melting down. Like, he's actually got a nuclear core and all that. I always thought of him being more organic. So, yeah, I would have to take time to think about that one. I can't answer that one right now. Never seen it, Joe. Do you prefer the Hobbit prequels or the Star Wars prequels? I would have to go with Hobbit prequels. I hope Godzilla never crosses over Pacific Rim with King Kong. I don't think it will. As much as I would be an advocate for it because of what it could do for the genre. Pacific Rim, the Kaijus attacked in 2013. Godzilla touched down in his world in 2014. King Kong, if they stay traditional, is way too small to put up a fight with any of these monsters. But I would not be against them doing it. Even though, and it's funny because King Kong vs. Godzilla is not one of my favorite movies. But because I know how much money it made, I know there's a market for it. So, and if there's a market for it, then I would love that to happen because it would help the kaiju genre going forward. So, Deadpool's overrated as fuck. Well, so is Batman. So at least Deadpool is somewhat new. Batman's been overrated for years now. What do you think is a possibility of us seeing Carnage in the MCU? Uh, I think it depends how much Sony allows Marvel to get involved and how stubborn Sony won't be. See, because after Spider-Man 2, Sony got such a hard on for how much money they were making with Spider-Man. They started to take creative control over Sam Raimi, and that fucked everything up. They still haven't exactly learned from their lesson. They've learned a little bit. They were smart. They smartened up to get Marvel involved to kind of help them. But there's already been rumors of creative interest and creative conflicts. So Spider-Man's going to go as far as Sony can take it, depending on whether or not they let the director do what they need to do. If they let Kevin Feige and his team run the ship, I think they'll be fine. But if they decide to get greedy and hungry and, oh, well, let's put Carnage, let's put this character, let's put that character, Marvel's just going to say, you know what, fuck it. It's a lost case. I'm out of here. Because let's face it, I mean, Marvel ain't struggling without Spider-Man. As much as it hurts to say that, they're not struggling without him. So if Sony doesn't smarten up and let them do what they need to do to bring the franchise back, not only for Sony's benefit, but even for Marvel, as much as it may pain them to do it, they'll just walk away. What do they got to lose? They got tons. The money, the characters they've developed, the new characters they got coming out, the TV shows they got coming out. You know? What's up, Al? I do not think a Deadpool and Batman movie would ever happen. If Anguirus was in a Legendary movie, he wouldn't last very long. I'm sad to say. He wouldn't last long. In fact, he might even be considered fodder. Anguirus is just, excuse me. Anguirus is just not. I know there's so many Anguirus fans out there, and I love Anguirus. I think his design is cool. I even like his roar. Even though his roar is kind of bitchy, it is bitchy. It's like, yeah. But it's something about the monster that's cool. But he's a punk. He's a punk. Like, really sit back and look at all his fights. Either he's lost or he's needed help. So, Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield, either one. I can go with either one. I don't prefer one over the other. I think they're both equally as good. So, who do you think could kill Godzilla? Well, obviously Mechagodzilla 2 is capable. In the Toho universe or just of all kaiju ever created? That's true, Miguel. Robert's a valid point about Batman being overrated, but I still love Batman. And Deadpool is supposed to be overrated as fuck. Yeah, I mean Deadpool. You know what's funny? I don't know if you got. I know. Definitely Jim knows this, but Deadpool is. You know, how Deadpool started. Deadpool started as a joke. He started as a joke to make fun of Deathstroke. That's how he started. He wasn't even intended to be as popular as he is now. So, I mean, and for those of you who don't know, I mean, I'm sure a lot of people know this by now. So if you're a Deadpool fan, you better know this. I'm not a Deadpool fan, and I know this. But Deadpool was a knockoff of Deathstroke. As much as I love Marvel, guys, a lot of Marvel characters, especially the villains, are knockoffs of DC. Thanos is I read somewhere that he's supposed to be a knockoff of Doomsday or an older villain. I can't remember. I forget where I read that. But Thanos is based on a DC villain, a knockoff. Deadpool is a knockoff of Deathstroke. Slade Wilson, Wade Wilson, you know what I mean? Deathstroke, Deadpool. Look at the costume, very similar, the mask and all that. Only Deadpool's mask, Deathstroke has a little, two-sided. Deadpool's isn't. It's a knockoff. Yeah, Legion. Yeah, if you're gonna go all kaiju, I would say I definitely think Legion could be Godzilla. Um, Gamera. Gamera's is as capable as beating him as anybody. As I'd say, Gamera, Legion, Space Godzilla, I think could do it on a good day. Mechagodzilla 2 has already proven that he can kill him. Mothra when she's not on death row. How's that? Mothra, as much as it pains me to say that, think about all the times Godzilla fought Mothra. Not the larva form, full form. Every time he's fought Mothra, he's gotten his ass kicked, and she's on the brink of death. Think about it. So I think Mothra, a fresh, born, right out of the webbing, or whatever the fuck you want to call it, the cocoon, right out of the cocoon, Mothra could probably kill Godzilla. Mothra Leo, I've heard a lot about Mothra Leo, right? From the Mothra movies, could probably kill Godzilla. Godzilla is not unkillable. Do I like Cthulhu? What I know of him is cool, but I don't want to get into that. In fact, I'm supposed to be getting my magazine copy soon about the small piece that I wrote in that magazine. So, yes, thank you, Aaron, very much. I knew I said Doomsday, but that's right. You're right about that one. Darkseid, or Darkseid, excuse me. I prefer Marvel. I think Marvel has better superheroes. Outside of after like, to me, like after the core of DC, it really drops off. Like you got Superman, Batman, the Flash, Wonder Woman, Green Lantern, stuff like that. Then after that, it just drops. Where Marvel, you got the Avengers and the Fantastic Four. Boom, right there, two groups. The X-Men. I mean, you got Spider-Man. Even some of their lesser characters are fucking awesome. Like I'm a huge Ghost Rider fan. The movies are not great, but I'm a huge Ghost Rider fan. Cloak and Dagger, really cool. Who else? Iron Fist, Luke Cage, obviously, Daredevil. I mean, you got a lot. I mean, it just goes on and on and on. I didn't hear that, Miguel, but I did hear that they're going to be doing a Marvel show every 6 months. Yeah, but you also got to remember, Miguel, too. Like, I'm putting it worst case scenario. See, Mothra is not really a killer. Mothra is a good monster. She's like noble. She's not going to kill Godzilla. What I'm saying though is I think she's capable of killing him. She did hoist up Godzilla and Batra and dump their ass in water. So, if Gorosaurus fought Baragon, who would win the fight or how would it go down? I wouldn't be able to tell you because I'd probably fall asleep the first 10 seconds. Yeah, that's not a fight I would want to see. Well, yeah, of course, Batra had to save her. I mean, it's a movie. It's for dramatic effect. But if push came to shove, if Mothra had to kill Godzilla, I think she's capable. Yeah, but that's one time. How many times has Mothra just wiped the floor with Godzilla's ass? I mean, yeah, he had her dead to rights a couple of times later on, but for the most part, she's had his number. What would be a dream DC versus Marvel fight, like either 1-on-1 or 2-on-2? I will tell you two characters I think can beat DC top two, Superman and Batman. Okay? And they're probably the two characters that nobody would ever even see coming. I think Scarlet Witch could beat Superman. Yes. I said it here. I think Scarlet Witch now don't get me wrong. I'm not saying she'll wipe the floor with his ass. She'd have to really, really well, not only her, there was also another character I thought could easily kill Superman. That was Mystique, without even thinking. But that's how I see. I think of those scenarios way differently than people. See, people think brawl, brawl, brawl. But you see, a character like Mystique won't run up to Superman and try and fight him. Mystique would take the form of Lois Lane, okay, and stab the motherfucker with a kryptonite crystal or something. Scarlet Witch's magical powers are deadly. Deadly. She would annihilate Superman. I don't give a fuck what anyone says. If you can take the whole world, the mutant population in the whole world, and take all their powers as fast as she did it, and magic's supposed to be Superman's weakness, yeah, come on, really? Doctor Strange could probably beat Superman's ass. So, yeah. I think Doctor Strange and Scarlet Witch would beat Superman. Obviously, they would, and that doesn't mean they'd beat him all the time. I'm the kind of person that anybody can win a fight at any given moment. Let's face it, if Superman even lands a finger on one of them two, they're fucking dead. But I think they have a better chance than somebody like the Hulk, because the Hulk cannot outpower Superman. I know there's a lot of people out there that Hulk. Hulk is still human. If the Superman gives a full-fledged punch to the Hulk, even in Hulk form, he will kill Bruce Banner. That's a fact. Where the weak, if I'm going to pick my poison against somebody like Superman, I'm going to pick somebody who has a power over him. And in this case, it'd be magic. And I'd have to pick Doctor Strange or Scarlet Witch easily. I don't think Rogue would. Because, you see, Rogue could absorb his power, but she would still have a certain limit. Rogue's whole what's what I'm looking for? Her whole mutation isn't built of like Superman's cells. Like, we know that Superman's cells drink the sun, the radiation. She doesn't do that. So she'll only have his power for a short time, and it won't be able to grow like Superman's grows. So I don't think Rogue could beat him either. In fact, you really think about it, if Rogue were to take his power, she might even die. So Hawkeye or Green Arrow? Oh, wow. That's a good match, but I got to say, I'm going to go with Green Arrow because I think Green Arrow has a better fighting ability than Hawkeye does. I did a whole video on that I'm not even going to get into that whole Godzilla vs. Cthulhu discussion. That's just going to start a whole new uproar. In fact, I'm going to be wrapping this up shortly because it is after 10 and the hour is up. And I started 1 minute early. The fact that this shit even works now is a very, very happy thing. What if Godzilla got a Red Lantern ring? What if he did get the Red Lantern ring? He wouldn't be able to put it on. What's your favorite non-superhero Godzilla film? Depends on the genre. I can tell you a couple of my favorite movies of all time. Shawshank Redemption, The Color Purple, The Matrix, the first Matrix. There's so many. My Cousin Vinny is a very good comedy. I love that. God. Non-superhero, non-Godzilla. There's so many. Obviously, Inception. I like Titanic a lot. You know, a lot of people get sucked into the fact that they think it's it is a romance movie, but there's a lot of just great scenes in that movie, especially at the end, as dreadful as that is. So Titanic's definitely one of them. Avatar is really good. At the time, I remember liking it a lot. Looking back at it now, I don't think it's as good. Lion King is one of my favorite animations from Disney. Lion King, Mulan, Aladdin, obviously, is very good. Dead Poet Society. What else? Memento, which is one of Nolan's earlier films. Very, very good film. Memento. Oh, there's another one. That's just to name a few. There's a lot more than that. Favorite scary movies? Like, I didn't say scary movie. Like Invasion of the Body Snatchers, Donald Sutherland one. Whew, that's scary. Scary shit. How would you feel if Back to the Future got remade? I wouldn't see it. Let me not say that. See, I don't want to prejudge. It. I would go check it out. I don't. I'm not saying I'd be super ecstatic about it, but you know, it is what it is. Yeah, just make it. Yeah, exactly. Just make another movie based on. Oh yes, Aliens, definitely. Terminator 2, Terminator. Those are some great movies. I used to be a big Eddie Murphy fan growing up, so I love Beverly Hills Cop and Beverly Hills Cop 2. Um, I haven't seen Inside Out yet. If you were born deaf, what language would your thoughts be in? I'm gonna guess Spanish since I'm Puerto Rican. Reapers versus tripods. Actually, another movie to add to that list that I like recently, Nightcrawler. Nightcrawler was really good. I enjoyed that a lot. A movie I would wipe from existence. Um, I'd have to take deep thought for that one, but if I had to name one, I would say D Wars because I recently saw it and I thought it was atrocious. If if Destroyer fought Baragon from Gamera, who would win? Hey, Destroyer lost to Mothra, the Mothra egg in a football helmet. So pretty much anyone can beat Destroyer. Yes, Martin, thank you. Deer Hunter, I get it. Don't worry, I've seen you, dude. No, but I want to see that one, Taxi Driver. Thumbs up, Nightcrawler. Yeah, it's a really good movie. But anyway, guys, that's going to be it. I'm going to get off. It is getting hot in my room. I want to put the AC on. And we are 10:15. So it's been a lot of fun. Definitely going to keep this short. Kind of want to just chill out for the rest of the night. And then I have to get up early. I got a lot of stuff to do in the morning. Predator over Kruger any day. Oh, you're late, Bavello. I'm signing off, man. A movie that I hate that everyone else likes. I'll answer this one. This is interesting. I don't actually hate the movie. I actually like the movie a lot, but I don't like it as much as everybody else. Interstellar. Interstellar. Oh, there's a good point. Yep, name is a good point. M. Night Shyamalan. Shyamalan. He mixed the Spinosaurus and T-Rex together. Oof. I don't know. We'll talk about that next time. But guys, take it easy. Oh, one last thing I want to mention. I meant to talk about this earlier. So I was telling you guys earlier that I was doing a Godzilla fan film. So you're going to see another spurt coming soon where there are not going to be too many videos uploaded. And the videos that are uploaded might actually be Amy doing her reviews and stuff like that. But I decided to go forward with a Godzilla fan film that I want to do. Just want to let you guys know ahead of time, there will be no kaiju action in this movie. This is strictly going to be a story-driven fan film that, in my fantasy world, is going to be a link from the 2014 Godzilla movie into 2018, and it's going to be based on Monarch. So that's what I'm going to be working on probably in September. So I already wrote the story, and I'll be starting the script probably in a couple of weeks. No, not even a couple of weeks. Probably next week. Start putting the story into a script format. So that's what I'm going to be working on. Okay, just want to let you guys know ahead of time. All right, guys, that's it. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you for being here. It was a lot of fun. You didn't miss anything, High Flyers. I just mentioned it now, so it's all good. You didn't miss anything. I had briefly mentioned it earlier, and then we got on some other topics, and I just wanted to mention it again. So, but that's it. that is it. We will do another live stream in a couple of weeks. And I completely did not talk about any of my topics, but that's okay. You guys had a lot of questions, and I was more than happy to answer them. So, all right. Thanks, Ryan. I appreciate that. All right, guys. Have a good night. And I will see you next week in the nation if you're there, or I'll be putting up videos this week as well. All right. All right. Take it easy, guys. Have a good night. Be safe.